Hello everybody, I'm going to be showing you how I completed my Charlie Chaplin tribute, all done in grayscale. So I'm going to be painting on my clothes, and I'm just doing the outline of exactly where I'm going to be putting the collar and the tie, the vest, the coat that he typically has on when he is in his movies or his most famous pictures, how people imagine Charlie Chaplin with the bowler hat and the suit. Just taking away some of the extra lines. And now I'm going to take my favorite brush of all, my kabuki brush. And there you go. So I'm using a water-based face and body paint. And I'm mixing a white paint with a light gray to get a very, very pale gray on my face. And I like the kabuki brush because I think it gives a great even coverage, and it certainly makes applying the makeup so much easier. You could use a sponge or even a smaller brush if you wanted to, but for covering large areas like this, I love using my kabuki. There we go. And now that I have the whole face finally done, don't forget to bring that look on your ears and down onto your neck. As you can see from this angle, I actually wound up taking a little bit darker gray and carving out a little bit in my temple area and just under my cheekbone. And now I am drawing on his bushy eyebrows. Mr. Chaplin has some bushy eyebrows. I think if I hadn't plucked all my eyebrows out in the 80s, they would probably be this bushy today. I had some gnarly brows, let me tell you. Sexy caterpillar brows, yeah. And now, time for the stash. So, in a few of the pictures that I looked up for Mr. Charlie Chaplin, I saw that his mustache, he had a smaller one, but he also had a wider one at some point, and I chose to do the wider one. The angles that I chose to use are the outer portion of my nostril going to the upper corners of my top lip. And I was laughing at myself because I was thinking that my mustache kind of reminded me a little bit of a fishtail, but now I'm taking a darker gray and I'm going to be drawing on some character lines. So I gave myself a new nasal labial fold, but I didn't want to bring it down all the way. I just brought it down to where my top and bottom lip separate. I didn't want to go past that. I'm adding some brow lines, also added some crow's feet, and I lined the outer portion of my nostril on my nose. And Mr. Charlie Chaplin has some rounded eyes to help with the grayscale look as well. I went ahead and wanted to get rid of the pink that shows on my bottom lid. Plus, I'm going to take my black liner and go underneath on the outside below my lash line to give the illusion that I have more rounded eyes. So there you go. I used the white liner pencil. You can tell they're definitely whited out. And now again, like I said, I'm just going to go around with a black eyeliner now. And I'm just outlining just underneath of where I would normally line my eyes. And I lined also the top portion of my lid. And then I took some gray shadow, and now I'm putting some gray eyeshadow on the lid portion. It's not feminine, so I'm not winging it out or anything. I'm just really just to help continue that circular eye look. Very round eyes. There we go. And then I also took a little bit of shadow to the temples and just underneath the cheekbone as well. I'm adding a little bit at a time. It's easier to add more, so much harder to take away and redo if you mess up. So kind of taking my time at this point. I always say it's just makeup and you can always fix it, and it's water-based. You just wipe it off and start over again. But the blending, the shading in this is so much so that if that were to happen, I would be sad a little bit. So just taking my time. And then you saw I brought that down to help kind of really carve out that jawline there. Give me a more masculine look to my face. Also bring it up just a little bit. In the next clip, you'll be able to see it where I bring up that point from where it's going diagonal to straight up and down. I bring that up towards my nose. You'll see that here in a second. But in the meantime, there's my cheek. I'm going to do a little bit around my chin. And then I'm going to do a little bit in my brow area now. I really want to give the illusion that I have this more masculine furrowed brow. Again, changing the shape of my face and bringing that down the nose on both sides. Is it me, or does that mustache make my nose look big? Like, for real though. I mean, I got a schnauzer at this point. It's like a whole nother country. It's large. Wow. Huh. I never see my nose from that angle. I don't know why I'm wiggling my eyebrows at myself. Alright, moving on to body paint. So now I'm just filling it in. This part is boring. The white for the collar and the shirt. And then I use a light gray for the vest. And just filling it in. Like in kindergarten, coloring in the lines. And then I take a darker gray. And that's going to be for my coat. I wind up taking a kabuki brush and doing the rest of it. Yeah, there we go for my coat. Really get that evened out. I don't want to do black because I'm going to use black for shading and outlining for my coat. It wouldn't read very well in the pictures or whatever later, so chose to do a very dark gray for my suit. And now I'm just outlining it all. Very boring, this part. These angles suck. I always hate like having to go from way back where I really have a hard time seeing. Looks good in pictures though. Pain in the butt to paint. There's my little collar. I'm so distinguished looking. No lie, at this point I was like looking at myself in the mirror and just thinking, who the heck is this? I look so different. Still outlining. Taking my time, because like I said, if I mess up, that would make me really sad. And then I'll be filling in the tie. Once I get it all outlined, created some buttons there. What you saw right there was a stipple sponge. I'm taking the light gray, the gray that I used for my vest, and I am stippling on just in a splatter pattern, nothing special, all over the gray coat, just to give me some texture so it's not flat. Also helps distract the eye from any brush streaks that you might still have on you from applying the paint. good way to hide things. I also did that with the dark gray, the same gray I used for my coat. I stippled onto the vest. So it's kind of like a reverse. And then I just touched up some of the black lines where the stipple had gone over the black line. Clean that up a little bit. Now I'm adding some dimension to the tie. So I'm just taking that light gray that I used for the vest and just placing it on the tie like so, like that. Using my finger to smudge it out or to help blend it out just because I can. I use my finger a lot for blending. We're highlighting. My tie is looking good. Oops, I messed up. Yeah. That's the face of, ugh, I messed up. There we go. You see I added a little bit more line work to the vest. And now I'm adding some shading. The shading that I'm doing, anywhere where there's going to be a fold in the fabric, a pull or a tug in the fabric, or where, say, where the vest and the coat meet, I'm going to be adding some shading. Also on the collar, make it look like it's being pulled back or pulled away. These lines always remind me of like little starbursts. It wouldn't be a fun video. It wouldn't be a Bobby Joe paint without a little dance break in the middle. There we go. Getting down there. Charlie Chaplin style. And back to shading. That little fold where that part of the vest folds over. Underneath the button right there. I'm going to do that starburst thing again with the eyeshadow and the brush for the button. Also did shading a little bit on the seams for my shoulders for the coat as well. Put them, did the line work a little bit underneath my armpit area and that crease or that fold right there in the corner. Lots of shading. Nice. And then last but not least, time for some highlights. So I'm just taking some white body paint and my liner brush, little buttonholes there, more buttonholes on the bottom one, a little bit more lining. You'll notice that even though I'm using just regular white paint, as I lay it on top of the darker paint, it tends to pick up a little bit of that paint as I lay it down, and it doesn't, when it dries, it's not stark white, and that's what I want. I just want to highlight. I don't want it necessarily white on those on the line work that I'm doing right now. But I'll do that to the vest and the coat and a little bit more to the tie as well. Anywhere where the light will be hitting on the top. You definitely want to add a little bit of a highlight. Again, with the awkward angles. How am I going to do this? There we go. There we go. Now that I got all the coat and everything highlighted to the way I want it, I decided I was going to go back and add a little bit more highlight to the stash. And again, this is exactly how I would paint a fishtail, by the way. And it still makes me laugh. Oi. Yeah, but I'm digging it. Oh, at this point I notice I need a little bit more shadow shading underneath my neck, my jawline there, just in this corner area there. There you go, yeah. Right there around the chin. Again, changing the shape of your face. There we go. I think I'm pretty happy with this look. We got it. Now for picture time, we got to get the hat, put up a, pop my color there, put up a sheet behind me, and just started taking pictures. That's why my eyes are still green. But this is what you get. So this is my tribute to Charlie Chaplin with all of my final completed looks. And I thank everybody for joining me today and checking out this video as I make awkward Charlie Chaplin faces at you. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. Aftershock art, face painting, and body art.